And welcome to my YouTube channel, MaryD Plays. In this video, I'm doing level 1 of the rock path for bass guitar, uh, using the Fender Play desktop version of the app. Last video, I did course 1. Now I'm going to do all 5 activities of course 2. Set good habits, finger technique. So rhythm hand placement, exercise pluck a string with a practice mode, and then finger placement, get it right with a practice mode for that.
Rhythm hand technique is essential to building our fundamental skills on the bass. In this lesson, we'll talk about rhythm hand posture and placement, how to pluck our strings, thumb placement, and thumb anchoring. Our rhythm hand is responsible for plucking the strings and creating the sounds we recognize as electric bass. In order to play our basic techniques the best we can, it's important to first learn where to place our rhythm hand. Placing our hand correctly not only helps us to play effectively, but ensures that we don't get injured from playing with bad technique. Let's talk posture first. We'll start by sitting up straight. Let's keep our rhythm hand nice and relaxed and bring our forearm over the top of the bass at about 45 degrees. Now for our hand position. We want to position our hand between the bridge and the neck and over a pickup. For this lesson, I'll place my hand over the middle pickup. Now let's talk about our thumb anchor. The thumb plays an important role in our rhythm hand placement. It acts as an anchor for our fingers and allows us to control our movements across the strings. The pad of our thumb should always face the pads of our other fingers and should rest slightly forward toward the neck so there's a clear path for the index or middle finger to follow through when plucking. Now I'll pluck the open E string. Make sure your wrist isn't positioned at an extreme angle because this can cause injury. Now with all that covered, let's pluck the E string together. Here we go. A few quick notes to keep in mind. For now, just use your index finger to pluck. Make sure that the fingernails on your plucking hand are short. They don't have to be as short as mine, but long fingernails can get in the way and can sound scratchy against a string. So short nails help us create a better tone. We want to pluck the string using the area just below the tip of our finger, the top of the pad of the finger, which produces a nice full sound. Now let's try switching strings. Aside from resting our thumb on the pickup to pluck the E string, our thumb can also rest one string lower than the one that we're currently playing. So when I pluck the A string, my thumb rests on the E string. When I pluck the D string, my thumb rests on the A string. And when I pluck the G, my thumb sits on the D string. Let's take a closer look at what it looks like to pluck our strings correctly. Pluck the string using the pad of the index finger, not the tip, and always pluck through the string, allowing the finger to come to rest on the string below, in this case, our E string. Let's do the same thing on our other strings. Remember to pluck through the string, allowing the finger to come to rest on our A string. Now our G string. This will give you awesome tone. Now let's pluck across all of our strings. We'll pluck each open string 4 times with our index finger. We'll play open E 4 times, open A 4 times, open D 4 times, and open G 4 times. Be sure that your thumb follows your fingers as we move down the strings. Get ready and I'll count us in. Start playing after I count to 4. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. E to A, to D, and G. Feeling comfortable and relaxed with where to place your rhythm hand is a super important step to get us started on the bass. And now you're on your way to becoming a great bass player. Happy practicing, and I'll see you soon. Let's get more familiar with your bass strings while developing your rhythm hand technique. We have strings number 1 through 4, letter names G, D, A, E. So first string G, second string D, third string A, fourth string E. You can use the phrase "get dizzy at Easter" if it helps you recall the order of the strings. For this exercise, we're only playing open strings, which means we don't have to worry about fretting any of the notes. We're also going to be using our index finger for plucking the strings. We're going to say and play each string 4 times in descending order, starting from the first string G. It'll sound like this. G, 2, 3, 4, and D, 2, 3, 4, A, 2, 3, 4, and E, 2, 3, 4. Now let's try that in ascending order. So we're starting from the 4th string E. Sounds like this. E, 2, 3, 4, A, 2, 3, 4, D, 2, 3, 4, and G, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to run through the drill in descending and ascending order 5 times in a row, except we'll only play each note twice. We'll start on the first string G. I'll count you in. 1, 2, 3, 4. G, D, A, E, E, A, D, G, and repeat. D, A, E, E, A, D, G, G, D, A, E, E, A, D, G. This is the 4th time through. A, E, E, A, D, G. One more time. D, A, E, E, A, D, G. Playing each string will help you get more comfortable with your bass. Keep at it, and I'll see you later.
In this lesson, we're going to talk about frets, what they are, proper finger placement, and we'll do a basic finger exercise. So what are frets? Frets are the narrow pieces of metal laid across the fretboard, which is on the front of the neck of your bass guitar. So we start with the nut. It's actually not a fret. It's this thing right here. Gives us our open string notes. So the fret nearest the nut is the first fret. That's this one right here, this little chunk of metal. After that, we have the second fret right here, then the third fret, the fourth fret, the fifth fret, and so on up the neck of the bass. So let's talk finger placement. We're going to learn how to fret a note on the bass, and we're going to do it on our G string. That's our first string, the skinniest one right here. We're going to use our index finger, which we will call our first finger. And we're going to press the pad of our fingertip down on the first string on the second fret. And our finger will be slightly arched, just like that. Not straight, but arched. Just like this, right here. And voila, there's our note. To fret notes properly, press down as close to the back side of the fret as possible. If you press down on top of the fret, it sounds muffled. Let's check that out. So my finger is right on top of that second fret. See, it's not really ringing out. It's there, but we don't get the full spectrum. Now, if you go back too far, I'm going all the way back almost to the first fret. You have to press down really hard to get anything to happen. I'm pressing super hard to get that note. If I let up even just a little bit, see, it starts to buzz. We don't want that. Where you want to be, right behind the fret, just behind it. There's a nice tone right there. Now, how hard should you press down? You want to press down just hard enough to get the metal string to touch the metal of the fret. Again, you don't want to press super hard. It's not necessary, but you don't want to be too light either where you're just getting a muted sound. Just enough to get that metal string on the metal fret. For best positioning, you want to align your thumb behind the neck with your middle finger. Your thumb is the anchor, keeps all your fingers together in the same place in a position. You want to make sure that they're parallel with each other, just like this. So here I'm on G, on the E string, third fret. Now I'm gonna shift my position up to A in the fifth fret, but my thumb is still there right behind my middle finger. You want to make sure you keep your thumb parallel with the middle finger, also to ensure that your arm is square to the neck of the bass, just like mine is right here. A good thumb positioning will ensure that your elbow doesn't drift into your gut. So if your elbow starts drifting into your body, it's gonna push your thumb up over the top of the neck, and you don't want that. Also, it makes your palm almost start grabbing the back of the neck, and when that happens, it really starts to kind of really limits your fingers. They kind of get bunched up, and doing this a lot could actually lead to injury, which you don't want. So if you just square off that elbow, let it kind of relax down, let your shoulder relax, it's going to put your thumb back where it needs to go, lined up with your middle finger, and then your fingers have much bigger range of motion. Let's take a look at that from another angle. So again, if your elbow starts coming in towards your gut, towards your body, your thumb's coming up over the neck. That's what you want to avoid. Brings your palm back against the neck. We don't want that either. It's going to really limit those fingers, and it's going to be hard to move around easily on the fretboard. So if we square off that elbow, bring it back, kind of relax our shoulder nice like that, brings our thumb back right where it needs to go, parallel to our middle finger, and we have a much easier range of motion with our fingers. Let's do an exercise where we learn our finger numbers, our fret numbers, and build our finger strength and flexibility. It sounds like this, and it's going to be played on our G string. So let's talk about our fret hand finger numbers. So we don't count the thumb because it's, of course, the anchor, and it's going to be behind the fretboard. But our index finger is known as our first finger. The middle finger is the second finger. The ring finger is the third finger. And the pinky is our fourth finger. Now, in this exercise, we're going to apply our first finger to the second fret on our G string, right here. The second finger is going to go on the third fret. And then our third and or fourth finger is going to cover the fourth fret. All the while, our thumb is right there behind the second finger. So here's what we're going to do. Our thumb, of course, is going to be pointed up behind the neck. We're going to start on the open G string, then go to the first finger on the second fret, then back to open G, then second finger on the third fret, back to open G once more, and then up to third and fourth finger on the fourth fret. Notice that the pitch changes as we play different frets. The higher the fret, the higher the pitch. So here I am on the 2nd fret, right? Then I go up to the 3rd fret, and we've got a higher pitch. 4th fret, higher, even still. When playing this exercise on our rhythm hand, we're going to alternate our index and middle fingers, and we're going to play steady half notes. Let's get ready with the open G, and I'll count you in, and we'll do it 3 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 2nd fret. 1, 2, 3rd fret, 2nd finger. 1, 2, 4th fret, 3rd and 4th finger. 1, 2, 2nd fret, 1st finger. 1, 2, 3rd fret. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's never too early to work on good thumb placement and fretting technique. These skills will set the foundation for solid playing and will fast track your learning. We'll see you next time.
I think I was off or miscount somewhere. Let's do that again.
In this lesson, we're going to talk about ability. It sounds like this, and it's going to be played on our G string. So let's talk about our fret hand finger numbers. So we don't count the thumb because it's, of course, the anchor, and it's going to be behind the fretboard. But our index finger is known as our 1st finger. The middle finger is the 2nd finger. The ring finger is the 3rd finger. And the pinky is our 4th finger. Now, in this exercise, we're going to apply our 1st finger to the 2nd fret on our G string, right here. The 2nd finger is going to go on the 3rd fret. And then our 3rd and or 4th finger is going to cover the 4th fret. All the while, our thumb is right there behind the 2nd finger. So here's what we're going to do. Our thumb, of course, is going to be pointed up behind the neck. We're going to start on the open G string, then go to the 1st finger on the 2nd fret, then back to open G, then 2nd finger on the 3rd fret, back to open G once more, and then up to 3rd and 4th finger on the 4th fret. Notice that the pitch changes as we play different frets. The higher the fret, the higher the pitch. So here I am on the 2nd fret, right? Then I go up to the 3rd fret, and we've got a higher pitch. 4th fret, higher, even still. When playing this exercise on our rhythm hand, we're going to alternate our index and middle fingers, and we're going to play steady half notes. Let's get ready with the open G, and I'll count you in, and we'll do it 3 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 2nd fret. 1, 2, 3rd fret, 2nd finger. 1, 2, 4th fret, 3rd and 4th finger. 1, 2, 2nd fret, 1st finger. 1, 2, 3rd fret. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's never too early to work on good thumb placement and fretting technique. These skills will set the foundation for solid playing and will fast track your learning. We'll see you next time.